Welcome to the August self-reliance video for Blue Garden Cottage. It is autumn, and autumn means that it's the time of year I start thinking a bit more seriously about winter preparations, things I need to get ready for winter, whether it be in the home, the garden, wherever. So this month I do have a video for you of something special we found. We actually got to do a little bit of foraging this for the first time in many years. We've not been foraging, there's just not been time. Well, last week, end of last week and the beginning of this week. So I'll share a little video with you of that at the end of this video, so hold on to the end. Just for now, I want to share with you some of my thoughts over the next 3 months videos because of my considerations of winter prep, which usually I'd start in the summer. Summertime is usually when I start doing the odd jobs out in the garden that would help for the winter, because that's a good weather time to do it. And by now I'd normally start on the indoors, but we're a bit behind on a lot of stuff. I've got playing catch up. So I've planned for the next 3 months, the videos will be focused on winter preparation through the autumn, and it's to do with both garden, home, the crafts, self-reliance, things like that, all to do with winter preparation. I am not giving you instruction. I am not qualified to do so. Your needs may be entirely different to ours, your home, your situation. You need to adapt to your own. I am sharing what we're doing, so in the hope that it would help you to think about what you need to do for your home and your family and yourself. Because, like I said, it might be totally different to what I need to do. But I'll share with you what we're doing anyway, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do what you need to. Some of the reasons, I always do that. I've got many videos every year about preparing for winter, things we do, little bits, but nothing specific or in-depth. So I think this year is exactly what we're doing, especially because now we're in the situation where things are looking dire on the outside. Our fuel bills, winter fuel bills, look to be even worse than they have been for the past year, but even worse next year. So it's going to go up to a real bump this autumn, and there's more to come in April. I don't want to put the gloom on you just now. I'm just explaining where I'm coming from and why I'm thinking about these things. So we've got the fuel prices going up even more than they already have, and I don't know what we're going to do about that yet, because even if we turn off all our electricity and our gas, we're still going to have high prices. So I don't think it's got anything to do with our usage, but that is out of our control. I'll look at what I can do, what is in my control to do about it. I think I might be sharing with you through the winter how we manage these crazy things going on as far as fuel bills and things goes anyway. Got that video on how to safely use a hot water bottle. I'll put a link to that in the corner of the video, because believe it or not, there are people who've never used a hot water bottle before, and it just helps to have more information out there. You can't have too many, I don't think, of how to do things, because something somewhere has got to fit for somebody. Okay, so for September, because we hardly got a week left of August now, so even the Kanban board, I am only focusing. I'm not going to use the Kanban board for the rest of this month, being this week. I am getting it ready for September with all of these things. With all of these things in mind. September in the garden, we're going to be looking at the water butts, the gutters and the plants. In the home, I'll be looking at curtains, windows, doors, drafts. In craft, there is one little thing I want to do with a jewelry box. And then on the self-reliance video to do with the wood burners, I have messaged my chimney sweep I've messaged him to ask if we could do that interview that I wanted to arrange before, but we got struck with all the pandemic rubbish. So everything was forgotten about for a while. But I think it's really important now in the situation where people are thinking about heating their homes, if they have a wood burner, if they're planning on getting one, things to consider. So I asked him if he would be happy to do a video interview for us, and some of the things to consider from his perspective as somebody who deals with this stuff, and he's heater certified and all the other qualifications that he needs with over 20 years experience in all things fireplace, wood burner, chimneys and safety. So it would be really handy if he would consent to do us a video, so I could do that for you. So that's to look forward to around the 22nd of September. So it would be really nice if he would, because or anybody in his family who work with him, that would be great. Just somebody from his company to come and help, because he's the one who installed, him and his company installed our wood burner and gave us all the legal information. It was registered with the local council. We have all the paperwork, we have all the safety checks, and he's done twice since installing. So there is safety things to consider. Okay, so that's September for you. October, I've planned on working on the winter garden and the wood stores. We do have a wood store. It is half full. We have a lot more wood to chop. We're hoping for some dry days next week so we can chop more wood and get that all stacked and ready. The wood is way dry, perfectly good for using. And then the home video for October will be talking about bedding and flooring, and that's all with a view to preparing for winter. October and November crafts, I'm just going to be focusing on making Christmas gifts for the family and friends. And then a self-reliance video will be on car winter preparation for October, and something else I can't remember what I was stuck on there. And then for November, I'm not sure, but I've put prepping for the new year, because it is still for us winter. January and February are still definitely winter for us, and even the spring could be quite wintry, the early part of spring. So it'll still be whatever is appropriate, whatever comes up between now and then, between now and November, I will fit in with the self-reliance videos. For September, those definitely I want to talk about the wood burners and preparing for possible power cuts and how we deal with that, because there's been so much talk, and over the last year the things that have been talk or possibilities or just gossip from those that are in authority have proven to be accurate. So I am treating the talk, sorry, I know people hate using inverted commas, the talk of possible power cuts, I'm going to treat as basically a certainty. So we'll prepare for that, and if they don't happen, brilliant, great. I've told you before, that's how I work. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and just carry on, because I've done what I need to, and if anything does happen, it's fine, it's okay. I am not about to do some of those I'll have a word with hubby, see what he thinks about us practice running a power cut and how we manage. Although the kinds of power cuts they've been talking about are scheduled ones. I don't know for how they've not said how long. It's all still speculation. So whether it's a couple of hours or an entire night, overnight, or during the day, I would imagine during the day, because that's when most people use the most electricity. So for us, even just cutting the electricity, we can't use the gas central heating, because the boiler is electric. It just burns burns the gas, burns the heat. It fires the water heating by the gas, but it takes an electric switch. So if we have an electric power cut, the gas central heating will not work. We don't have a gas cooker. If you have a gas cooker, even during a power cut, you should be fine because it's just a gas cooker. But we don't. In fact, we don't even have the proper use of an oven now. It's one of those things that needs to be replaced, but we can't yet. So yeah, so I think maybe we'll have a practice run of how we would cope with a power cut. I'm not sure how or when, but I'll have a think about that, because that will help us to better think about how we'll cope if we do. Because things to consider like candles and lamps, light, heating, warmth, bedding, all those things I'm going to be covering between now and November. So stay tuned for that. As far as the end of this video, as I promised to show you what I have been doing. Oh, before I forget. So if you have any specific questions you'd like to know about what we do, or any thoughts about what you would do, your own winter preparations, don't forget to add that in the, put a comment in the bottom, share with the whole community here. It's only a small one, but hopefully we'll be able to over time help even more people. With the more of us contributing, the more ideas there are for people to pick and choose which would work for them if they hadn't thought about it. Here first is the video that I said of something special we found. Off to get mushrooms. All the damaged ones don't touch. Yep. Yep.
Top ones all damaged.
And that gills are smooth underneath.
Gills.
Those ones you can
take it from the.
Yeah, these are still young ones. They're soft and springy still. Even that one is still good.
They're all soft and springy still.
This is the woody one.
Yeah,
Well, it's not quite, but it's getting dry. Just cut the good ones off.
which are the good ones?
These are the good ones.
If you want me to go all
And
the
these
way
are
through-
still fine.
You want me to go all the way through these?
Yeah,
to there.
yeah. Even this is good because they're young ones.
Okay.
Yeah, don't pull it. We don't want to damage the root, the mycelium, because that's going to go right into the tree.
Nice.
Nice and springy. Yeah, we don't want to take all of it. Leave some of those there for the spores to fall.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not taking all of it.
Yeah.
I don't take all of it.
No, we don't take everything. We always leave lots to carry on growing. We only, there's insect there, leave that one, it's got woodlouse.
You want that bit?
Yeah, leave the bit closest to the tree. That's it. I think that should be enough, shouldn't it?
Yep.
That'll do. We leave the one at the bottom untouched. Just some lovely mushrooms we got there. That's really lovely.
take that yet.
Let's just cover it with a tea towel. Perfect. It's just paused, dear.
Yeah, that's it.
I know.
Well spotted.
Well spotted, babe. Well spotted. Let's cover it nicely. Well, go home. There we go. Now I'm going to clean it before I sort it out. It's mostly very clean with not much on it. Yet I think we still have to clean it because we have to be very careful with chicken of the woods. It's a very clean specimen. There's only a little bit of debris in there, not much at all, but that'll be easy to clean up with some water. Most of it is spotless. Yes, but we're still going to clean it anyway.
Why?
Because we need to. Okay, this bit I think needs to go because this is a little bit too smooth. It's got a bit bruised, so we're going to get rid of that bit.
Right. My idea. Hey, Mama.
Yeah, it's also very lovely, and of course it's very warm. And yeah, so we're gonna, okay, this bit we're gonna cut off because it's a bit
with your hand.
slightly moist. I don't like that idea. This bit off there.
Okay, my final.
Mind your fingers, please, lovely.
I am.
Yeah, I think we'll leave that bit off there. It's still very good there. We'll take this a bit woody over here, so we're going to cut this bit off.
But I didn't do it now yet.
I'm going to cut a little bit of woody bits. See over here, Lily?
Yeah.
Do you want to brush that bit off there?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah,
There,
I do
just
it
like
on
that.
my own. I do it on my own.
Okay, you do it then.
And my hand.
See a little black speck there?
Yeah.
Brush that off.
Hey, let me try
Just like that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, the one I cut off is get it off there. Yeah, okay, there you go. And this is nice and, okay, it's a bit on the back. Do you want to clean that bit there? Well done.
Nice and move.
Nice and clean. Because Chicken of the Woods has these nice little rings around the frills. Orange, bright orange. Smooth on the back, no gills, just pores, lovely and yellow. Smells, reminds me of, it's a beautiful mushroomy smell. Lovely mushroomy smell.
Hey, I
Do you want to clean it? Yeah?
I tried my mail.
Okay, you do it on your own. Brush it nice and briskly.
Put it right here.
Okay, let's put it by here then. Okay, you do that then.
And you clean up.
Okay, I'll take them apart, shall I?
Yeah.
So the frills.
But I even it don't wet.
Probably should have left more of that end on the tree. Oh, there we go. We can see that better.
I
Let's
see it.
separate the frills.
You see that rat? Oh, right here.
No, that's fine.
I know.
Turn it around. There's a little bit on there. That's so pretty, isn't it? Brush it off on there. Right, Grandma, take this fan off there. And this fan off there. Okay, see now there's a little bit there we need to clean, isn't there?
Yeah.
Brush it off. But not too hard, we don't want to damage it, we just want to clean it. Yeah. Can we break any more off of it? This is quite a lot like oyster mushroom in that it grows in fans. Oh, there's a bit we need to clean off there. Can you see? I think when I'm done making sure all the black bits are off, we're going to clean all of them properly all over. Some of it we're going to dry in the dehydrator. Some of it we're going to freeze. You need to clean out there, babes. Can you clean out here?
Yeah,
Clean out there.
I want her.
We don't want it too wet. We just want it cleaning off. don't we?
Yes.
No, we've still got a bit in there. It needs to come out. Okay.
Get eat five. Get eat one. Get eat one.
6 minutes and 12 seconds.
Get 12. Get
Don't worry, we're going to edit out a whole lot by the time we
Wait,
get
Mama,
there.
29.
Right, now you're going to have to let Grandma clean it off properly, okay? I think this one might be a little bit over on the edge there. We're going to take that off to be on the safe side.
Mama, that I won't do it there.
Yeah, that's the bit we clean off like that, see?
Thank you, Mama.
Yeah, that brush doesn't seem to be hard enough. That little bit of baby.
Oh, they're all
Look at that one. Growing like that.
Can you get one harder?
No frills, just smooth pores. Yet.
Huh?
These ones are so young, they haven't even opened up properly yet. Probably should have just left those on. Oh, that one's no good because it started melting away in there. So that is going. We're not touching that one. Same with this bit there. And that was stuck to another one. But this bit there, we're getting rid of that. We don't want the bacteria on that. Right, now this lot I've cut into chunks. It was the bit at the end, the bulkier end, closer to the tree than the thinner bits. The thinner bits at the end I've sliced into strips. These are going to be frozen to be cooked like we did these for wraps with salad. And I'm not too scared of the bits nearer the end by the stalks. We did leave quite a bit of chunk close to the tree and only took the frill ends, the fan ends, but closer to that big chunk at the end is still a bit dry and only slightly going woody. But that is the bit that had the best chicken texture. As it cooled and dried more, that was really chickeny in texture. The strips are going in the cloth in the tubs, so in half, and then there's 2 days worth there. There's 2 days meals, so once a month, if we have these, that is 2, 3, that's 1 meal a month of these mushrooms for 4 months. That's quite a good stock and prep. Cover that up so that, okay, this is the blue one, isn't it? Yep, that's the blue one. Right, so that will go in the freezer now. These will go in the dehydrator. They are snapping, but like I said, there's still moisture inside, so I'm going to leave them a couple more hours. So yeah, some of these feel like they're already dry. But no, they need more drying. They need to be dry right there. I think maybe that's why they say to slice the mushrooms like 2 millimeters thick, as dries properly all the way through. And feeling the texture, oh, it just crumbles when the little pieces that are dry all the way through, and that's what it should do. All the way through it's dry, and the little ones. So I consulted my Gentle Art of Preserving book on page 126. It talks about dehydrating mushrooms, the right temperature for 2 millimeter thick. Mushrooms would be 57 degrees C for 3 hours or 65 degrees C in an oven. And I've spread them over 4 shells separated by an empty one so that there's even more airflow. I am still going to give it up to double the amount of time. I think I might just leave it completely overnight so that it's completely crisp. There cannot be any moisture left whatsoever. It doesn't mention wild mushrooms, but you know, I am going to check that out a bit more. I would like to cultivate and grow my own in our own garden, and that is my ultimate goal anyway. It's very rare that we harvest foraged mushrooms. I try to avoid it, but that was such a special treat, and we treated it with respect, harvesting only maximum of 1/3 of what was available and leaving the rest for nature. Hopefully that some of the spores will keep that species going in that area. I couldn't believe it. Not 5 minutes walk from the house in a place you would never think. So yep, it's been a while since we've eaten that bit we fried up. We're still okay, no tummy aches yet. I'm very pleased and chuffed and surprised at that absolutely delicious treasure, and we will treat it as such, as something extremely special, not to be wasted on gluttony. I know we have to take extra care with wild mushrooms, but for now we have at least 4 meals out of those mushrooms that we've collected. And we don't have mushrooms very often, so I would think that's plenty. That is absolutely plenty to gather. And of course we don't want to take more than we need, especially even if what we need is more than what is available. Wow. I am amazed.
Have you tried?
Tried one little piece, yeah.
What do they taste like? Good. Are they as good as he made out?
Well, I haven't put in as much fat in mine, so it's not going to be as fried crispy. Yeah. It's not going to be as crispy fried like chicken. Looks like chicken strips. And I do not want all that fat, so I mean there's enough in there. You squeeze the mushroom and it's definitely absorbed it.
Oh, that's good.
It's good, isn't it?
That's good, mate.
And this one, because I cooked it longer and it's drier, it's actually got a chickeny texture.
It's got chicken texture.
Oh my days. Oh my Gideon. I love chicken all the words. Mmm. Oh. Oh, that is so surprising. Dry it out a bit more and oh. It is. It's like chicken breast. Tender chicken. Oh my goodness. And there you have it. Stick that in a wrap with some salad. Oh my goodness. So that was the mushroom video. Chicken of the woods that we found something very, very special. And as I said, we were very careful not to just plunder the supply. We made sure we only took a portion of what was available and left the rest for nature, so that it could keep going and still be part of that regenerative cycle in nature in that specific spot. So it was a very special find. If I can, I'll do an autumn video on just add in between our usual weekly videos. I might add in a recipe or so that I used with those with the mushrooms. If we find any more, I shall let you know. But that was I very rarely ever use wild mushrooms because they are so precious, and especially in drought times, I think it's important to exercise self-restraint in harvesting of the wild mushrooms because it's quite a fragile. In this week on Monday morning, I just decided, well, because there was rain forecast by 9 o'clock in the morning and I was up by 5 and the light was still dark, I waited until it was just light enough to be able to go out. I grabbed my basket, a bag, my secateurs, and I went off foraging because I wanted some elderberries for making a winter tonic. And now, end of August, mid-August to mid-September is perfect time for elderberries. So I went and harvested what I could that I could find. There's not a huge amount available in our local area, huge amounts of blackberries. So I had first gone out in the garden and harvested the raspberries that are ready, and then I went out to get blackberries and elderberries, and it was very good. And I didn't have to leave my estate. There's quite a few natural spots all over the estate where I live. It is huge. the blackberries I mixed with the raspberries and I made a delicious jam. Didn't have any jam sugar, so I just added some veggie gel, and it has worked perfectly fine, as set even better than when I used the jam sugar. So that worked really nicely. I made the elderberry syrup. There wasn't quite enough of the elderberries, so I added in the last of the aronia berry harvest and made a delicious winter tonic with that. So hopefully that, and I added in some sage leaves, a sprig of lavender flowers. I didn't have any ginger. If I had ginger, I'd have added that. But that will make a nice once a day little dose of preventative winter tonic. So we're starting on that already, and as soon as I can, I'll go and find some more elderberries to do that again. That's kind of some of the winter prep we've been doing. Harvests as well from the garden, harvests from nature. And as I was going around harvesting and looking for the elderberries, I came to a spot where we used to find chestnuts. The tree is still going. It's still got chestnuts on it. So by October, end of September, October, we'll have some chestnuts we can go and forage, because those we have to wait till they drop on the ground. So we have to be out really early. Even if I just get a bit, you know, enough chestnuts maybe for 2 meals, that's fine. That's all I want. I don't want to be plundering the supply. And I found some apple trees. Must have been from when people had thrown apple cores many, many decades ago. But the apple tree is still there. We hadn't seen it for many years. We hadn't gone down there. We hadn't had time. And I found it again this week, and there are apples on there. So by mid-September, we'll be harvesting some wild apples as well, because the apples in my garden, they do have bitter pit, a number of them. We'll harvest what we can of that to cook and freeze. But there's not that many there. We lost, after I took the netting off the apple trees, some the storm that we had afterwards last week knocked 2 of the apples off. I mean, 2 apples might not seem like much, but when you've only got 5 apples entirely on one tree and you lose 2 of them, that's a lot. But there's not enough there to see us through the winter for apples, at least. And if things are going to get so tight money-wise, any little extra that we can put by for winter to help us would just make things a little less stressful. So I will be foraging for where I find the wild apples as well. There will be rose hips available, so I will make a combination of rose hip and elderflower and herb tincture as well, or not tincture, a syrup for the rest of winter as well to go with that. So it's stocking up on things like sugar and honey. Yes, we're vegan, but yes, we do still use honey. So make sure where I get my honey from. Also, what else is there? So winter preparations and what we're doing this week, as I said, the wild foraging, preparing in the garden, harvesting. I have not been diligent with sowing seeds for winter growing. I haven't been able to. This year has gone so fast. Who can believe it's already autumn? I'm shocked. There's just like 4 months left. Oh, for December on the planning. So it's what I've been doing on the planning. See, December, I'm only going to do 2 videos in the whole month, because not very many people have that much spare time to sit and watch videos, do they? But I'll do 2 videos in December. One would be within the 2nd week of December to do with our Christmas, the recipe I like to share with you every Christmas. I'll give you a recipe, a favorite Christmas recipe, and then the one after Christmas would be the planning and annual review. Planning for 2023 and the annual review. So those are the only 2 videos I'll do in December. And then it's this year gone. Oh my days. You can believe. Right, it's time to be off. It's 7 o'clock. I need to be gone by 8 o'clock for the traveling for today. So I will leave you with those thoughts, ask you to keep popping by, keep seeing what we're doing. Please share with me and whoever else watches the videos what you're doing with your winter preparations and any thoughts you might have, so that I might learn something from you. In fact, you might be able to tell me something I haven't thought of, what's appropriate in your area for your situation, because everybody's different again. And hopefully together we can prepare for a much less stressful winter than has been forecast. We can calm the doomsayers. We can manage the things that are in our control. Some things aren't. We can find ways around it. I might be able to share a few more thoughts on current affairs as far as having to find frugal, well, let's just put it bluntly, it's not frugal, it's downright penny pinching ways of doing things to be able to offset a lot of the chaos and the harm done to people because of those in authority not having a clue, sitting in their high places telling us what we should and shouldn't do to stay warm and get out of debt when they don't have those issues. So yes, between us who do have these issues, who do know, let's share and help each other through this phase. Right, take care folks, I'll see you next week. Next week will be, next week is not the first week of, well, it is, it's a crossover between August and September, so there might be another chatty video. I don't know what I'm doing with you then. I might do, so maybe a little bit more elaboration. Yeah, makes pause. Don't forget, if you have any specific questions to ask, put it down there. Maybe I'll cover them next week. If you don't, you're just going to get whatever answers I can come up to questions of my own. Until then, folks, stay safe, stay well, be happy. See you then. Bye-bye.